I am 39 years old, turning 40 at the end of the year. My last relationship ended in 2020, and since then I have never dated again because I was occupied with my work and taking care of my sick mother. Recently, I tried dating again and used Tinder for the first time in my life. It was a train wreck. I set the age range of women to 25 to 35, and what I saw shook me to my core. There were almost no suitable women. They had tattoos, were overweight, and overall had a really bad aura. Single mothers were everywhere, of course, and women under 30 swiped right on my profile before looking at my age. I really do not get that one. But okay. What really bothered me was that two women, aged 29 and 30, told me that I was too old for them. Like what? Since when is a 39-year-old man too old for a woman in her late 20s or early 30s? I am not an old guy. I do not want to date a single mother, yet most younger women apparently have a new rule that they will not date a man who is more than 4 or 5 years older than them. This leaves me solely with the 35-plus crowd. This also means that they are either single mothers or women who have clear personal issues and tons of past relationship baggage. I refuse to date a woman who cannot bear me children. I still want a family, and women my age are pretty much off the table. Older women, instant no. So what am I supposed to do now? How about you guys around my age? What are you doing? What are your expectations? What are we supposed to do? Is it too late? Like, really too late? Story 1. Do not use dating applications. They will ruin dating for you. Try going to social gatherings like clubs, sports venues, wine tastings, and so on. Meet women the natural way. Story 2. Honestly, your list of requirements sounds like you are excluding most people needlessly and then getting upset that there is no one left. Younger, single, attractive women without tattoos or children evidently have better options. Why are you unwilling to date your own age? You easily reject them while complaining that you are rejected for being older. This is quite a double standard. So what are you supposed to do now? Increase your value as a partner, change your standards, look elsewhere, or come to terms with remaining single. Also, introspect a bit. Story 3. Attend social events with your friends and meet women there. If you do not have friends, that would probably be the best place to start. Story 4. I am 40. I have been having a lot of luck with either lawyers in the 30 to 35 age range with no children or women in their mid to late 20s who did not go to college. The only issue is when they start talking about wanting children of their own. Story 5. You have preferences and yet are shocked that women have preferences too. 25 is not around your age. Sorry, but if this hits hard, you are in for a much harder reality check, the likes of which you are only just starting to notice. Story 6. Laugh out loud sounds like you have been listening to Andrew Tate. Dude, why are you blaming women over 30 saying they must have issues if they have been single? Yet you are 39 and still single? Men are the pursuers, right? So you have been pursuing women for all your adult life and have not found anything suitable? My guy, you might be the problem. Story 7. Tinder is not a good place to look for a wife. If you want to meet someone around your age who also wants children, you should go to places where those women are, ideally places that indicate shared interests or values. Dating too young can be a challenge. Can sometimes feel more like parenting than a partnership. The best matches are not online. In my experience, most young, attractive women on dating sites are more interested in attention, free meals, and validation than actually finding a relationship. The ratio of men to women also means that women have their pick of men who would typically be out of their league. These are not great odds, and it can be devastating to your sense of self-worth and identity. Go outside, follow your passions and interests, and she will find you. Story 8. I like how you have a lot of criteria and want a younger partner, but you get frustrated when others also have criteria and you don't get matches from your desired group. You should start adjusting and find better ways to meet someone, like going outside, finding a hobby that involves group gatherings, and so on. Otherwise, in 10 years you might be posting the same complaints and still wonder why you have no success. The difference between boys and real men is how they handle a situation. Your situation is loneliness and you are getting older. So what are you going to do about it? Just complain and vent on Reddit and curse dating apps? Or are you going to take action? When was the last time you got a nice haircut and beard grooming? Do you use skincare products? Have you tried booking a session with a professional photographer? Or do you think that just being present is enough for girls to fight for your attention? Look, I know it is not easy, and I am rooting for you because I believe you can do it. We are all in the same boat, men and women. So stop worrying about finding the one. Just be yourself, try to grow, and have fun. Wear clothes you like, maintain good hygiene, and live genuinely. That means finding hobbies that make you happy and help keep dark thoughts away. Eat healthy and exercise. Meet new people and practice your communication skills. Don't be stubborn about this. If you don't change yourself or your situation, you will stay stuck like this for the rest of your life. It is your choice. People either change and take control of their lives or stay stuck with a childish mindset, wondering why this happens to them. Often, men realize they need to grow up when they lose their parents. So here you are. You either start taking care of yourself or continue on the same path and see where it leads. Good luck, and remember that the more time you spend on negativity, the less time you have for positivity. It all depends on you. Your happiness is your responsibility and no one else's. Story 9. I am 29 and almost exclusively get likes from girls 23 years old or younger on Tinder. I do not know where you are getting the 4 to 5 years older idea, but it has not been my experience. Story 10. You just have to get out there. You can date whoever you want and whoever you think you should. Don't fall into the mindset of modernity where we believe social interactions must be controlled by an electronic system to ensure appropriateness, due to conditioning to delegate rule enforcement to electronic systems. You can use dating applications as an additional resource, but don't rely on them entirely. I think they are problematic personally, and I'll explain why. Dating applications require almost no effort at all. You just sign up, create an account, and you're in. This inevitably attracts people who avoid putting effort into anything, lazy individuals who do not consider their appearance, health, mindset, or what a prospective partner would want. These platforms act like containers where certain types of people naturally flow in due to behavioral economics. It should not surprise anyone that dating applications often include people who are overweight, psychopaths with no self-reflection, people who do not know how to manage finances, people who cannot hold a conversation or have hobbies. Story 11. Dating in your late 30s can feel like a minefield, especially if you still want a family. You are not alone in feeling stuck. Expectations on both sides have shifted a lot, and it is tough out there. But it is not too late, just harder, and it may require adjusting the approach or widening the perspective a bit. Story 12. Either you are very unintelligent or trolling. If the first, it is better that you do not have children and let your DNA die out. Story 13. I think you need to self-assess how you are speaking to see how your preference comes across. It sounds like you are overreacting about ordinary things or have some unrealistic illusion of purity. The key is to completely ignore applications and get out in the world. People are complicated, not a checklist. To answer your question bluntly, I am basically your age and am still only seriously looking to date women under 30. The reasoning is simple to me. I want those I want most, but I also want to be able to meet a partner's need to feel desired, which is just not going to happen with older women toward whom I feel much less frequent or intense attraction. People who insist on dating within your age group are basically encouraging neglect. Chemistry around this basically only ever happens in person. Applications are a swamp. Story 14. Single mothers galore. Hence, at my age 43, I just assume I will stay single and celibate for life. Granted, I am no prize, but I refuse to raise someone else's child or grandchildren like my father, who is 70, is having to do. The truth is, yes, it is too late. Story 15. I routinely date between 25 and 45 years old, with my sweet spot being the mid-30s. I have children, so that is not a problem, but I have dated plenty of women without children. I also like tattoos. I will keep those options to myself. Good luck. Story 16. Have you considered meeting women at bars, volunteering, or asking women out through mutual friends? Story 17. I am your age, give or take 6 months or so. Brother, the real world is where it is at. Sure, people can and do find love on the applications and sometimes even get married, but I am willing to wager the percentage chance is very low. Finding groups like hobby groups or extended friend groups is a good idea, especially if you go with the intention of meeting everyone and getting to know them, even the guys. Set the intention of having fun first, rather than looking for a date. Make friends as much as you can and extend the circle of people you know. Remember the golden rule. Girls just want to have fun. Keep it light and playful with less focus on obtaining a result and more focus on your own vibes. Story 18. Be a passport brother or whatever they call themselves these days. Apparently, you can find plenty of foreign women around your age with no children, tattoos, or ex-husbands. Story 19. 40 is a man's prime dating era. You are more established and have more money. If you are single, you should absolutely be in very good shape. Many younger women prefer older men. If you are having frequent difficulties, take a look at yourself and see what you can improve. Also, online dating is often unproductive. Go meet women in real life. Story 20. How are you getting upset that more than a decade of age difference is too much for some people? What is bad aura? Brother, get over yourself. Story 21. Based on what you posted, it sounds like moving to a different country with a culture that does not reward men and women who will not subscribe to most of those things might be your best option. Good luck. Story 22. I would give up on the applications. They are offering quick, instant wins, which are only available for women who invariably end up joining some man's harem rather than finding a relationship. Personally, I found the dating game changed after age 35 as women became more desperate with the ticking in their ears. Do it in real life and you will find that person. They are still out there. Story 23. Red flags that women might see in this scenario. 1. Taking care of sick mother and being occupied with work. Are there any loans or medical expenses that you need to work hard to pay off? Women within the 25 to 35 age group would rather be dating loan-free men or men who do not have financial stress. 2. Wants women who can bear me a child, instead of a neutral statement like, wish to have children with my future wife. This sounds like a red flag. The original poster is bothered by the weight and aura of dates. Women typically gain weight during pregnancy. How will you respond when that happens? 3. They won't date a man who is more than 4 to 5 years older than them, and older women equals instant no. However, the original poster has double standards by limiting the age range of potential dates to 25 to 35 who are 4 to 5 years younger than him. So why can't women have the preference older men equals instant no? Sorry, there are many great and better men out there. You may just not stand a chance. Women know best. Story 24. I set the age range of women to 25 to 35, and what I saw shocked me to my core. Have you ever seen picked over produce at a grocery store? That is what dating apps give you. Story 25. Adjust to reality or remain single. I would have liked to have had children. At 40, nearing 41, I realize it is a rather unrealistic goal. I have accepted it. I would rather not be pushing 60 at a child's graduation anyway. The same goes for raising someone else's child. It was not something I wanted to do when I was younger. Now, it is not such a big deal. I would just have to learn how to have a relationship with the child if they wanted it. Maybe show them what a father actually does, or perhaps be more of a mentor. I might have to accept the reality that the child may resent me as being a replacement for their father or something similar. You can still have standards, but if you do not compromise a bit and accept reality, you will either end up alone by your own choice or be seen as inappropriate for wanting women up to 15 years younger than you. Story 26. I'm honestly not sure. I've never noticed large age gaps to be that popular to begin with. I can only answer personally in that it seems predatory to some extent when the difference in age, power dynamics, and experiences is too great. What could a person possibly have in common with someone so much younger? If nothing else, there is a maturity gap at some point. I'll admit there could be some inherent bias. The idea of dating anyone young enough to be my daughter is an instant turn-off. I understand it works for some people and might even be a healthy relationship, but more often you end up like my niece, 19, dating a 41-year-old, in a relationship with an inherent power imbalance and almost nothing in common. The older one sets the tone and the younger one is subservient. Your tone and wording don't help the case against that. Perhaps you have good intentions with unrealistic standards. It isn't necessarily wrong to want children, but look at the reality and ask what you bring to the table for people in the range you want to date. Story 27. My wife of 14 years decided her postpartum depression was more important. I tried dating again after all those years but was robbed and lost over $125,000. Now I have told myself that I have proven to the world that I am better off alone. Story 28. Stay off the applications. The applications themselves are fine, but the application culture is very toxic. Too much effort is spent just to get ignored by women you are not even interested in. In my mid-30s, I decided to go back to college and finish my degree. I was 35, dating girls aged 19 to 26. I struck out with the unattractive application users but ended up dating attractive college girls. It was surprising. You can also consider international dating. There are 4 billion women in the world, so there is no reason to settle for the few unsuitable options in your neighborhood. Story 29. You have plenty of red flags just from your writing. You need to get realistic and put in actual work meeting someone. Go to events, join organizations or clubs, and participate in activities that foster co-ed groups. I don't think you will find many single women in their late 30s or 40s who do not have children and still want to have children. Having children later in life increases the risk of birth defects and Down syndrome. Your age group is one of the most heavily tattooed of any generation, so you might want to reconsider your aversion to tattoos. Some of the nicest people I know are tattooed to some extent, and some of the most judgmental people are not. Good luck. Story 30. 1. You probably should not date a 25-year-old at your age. 2 35-year-old women are adults with full lives that often include children or a past. You cannot date like you are 25 anymore. Story 31. Throw away the applications. What is your real-life social circle like? Approximately where are you located? What is your goal with these women? What type of women are you open to? You might need to seek advice from the Ask Men Advice Forum. Story 32. The sky is the limit. You can date younger women, women your age, or older women. This is the prime age for men when you start to gain an advantage over women. Remember, Mick Jagger, Al Pacino, and Robert De Niro had children in their 80s, so it is never too late. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.